con Brian.
To be with Brian and Beatrice for the birth of my grandson. Shannon, I know you want me to let you go, and I'm trying.
Is that a shamrock plant you're holding?
Oh, yes, it's from Mulligan. He sends his love. Shannon,
Duncan, please don't. We have to accept the way things are now. It never would have worked out between us. Not in the long run. You're as Scottish as that heather you sent me, and I'm as Irish as the shamrock plant. They don't grow in the same soil.
I've been thinking of the words to Loch Lomond. For me and my true love will never meet again. I guess the words are true after all. Perhaps the Scotsman that wrote it was thinking of a lovely Irish lassie. Maybe that's why he was so melancholy.
Well, it's possible. Anything's possible, right?
No, lassie. I used to think so. But sadly, I don't believe that anymore. Neither of us do.
Hi. Jane said you were ready to see me now?
Well, that depends.
On what?
On why you want to see me.
Because I want to talk to you. Don't always be so suspicious.
Brock, we had a very long conversation at the Mona Lisa the other night. I can't imagine what we need to talk about right now.
Well, some things have changed since then, and, come on, I need to talk to somebody. You're the only one I can. Okay? Look, when I started seeing Emily, I was trying to make you jealous. There was this purely physical thing between the two of us, and there was her family in the background, which always intrigued me. But all that to say, I never thought it would go beyond this purely superficial level. But now I've found that I am honestly, truly just falling in love with her hook, line, and sinker.
Really?
Really.
What do you want? Why are you telling me this?
Because I'm happy. Because I'm relieved to find out it can happen to me, too. And because, as silly as it may sound, because I want to share it with you. Because I know underneath it all, you want the best for me like I want the best for you. And because I will always be sorry that I followed up the thing we had so that you and I have to find separate happiness instead of finding it together. That's something I will always regret.
I'm sorry, sweetheart.
Hi.
Listen, we can go to lunch as soon as Matt gets back from supervising the search of Walter's apartment.
Any clues as to who killed him?
No, not yet. And before you say anything, we have no reason to believe that it was Stenbeck or that Stenbeck is even alive.
Even with all the strange goings-on, first Tonio's bodyguard is killed, and then little Bianca's missing, and then this kid Buddy out at the castle.
So wait a minute. In the first place, Walters was a private investigator. He was involved in a lot of sleazy cases in his time, so it's very possible that an awful lot of people could have had it out for him. As far as Bianca is concerned, we have no reason to expect foul play, and besides, if you worked for Tonio Reyes, wouldn't you want to run away too?
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah. Seems our rookie turned up something in Walter's briefcase that could be the clue we've been looking for. See for yourself.
Hey, this could prove that James Stenbeck had nothing to do with Walter's death.
Anybody see you coming out of the castle?
No. We'll smooth this stuff. Those copies that you wanted me to make are in there. And also, I got the originals back into the same envelope in Duncan's office.
Good. Very, very good work. By now, the police have discovered the letter I had you put into Walter's briefcase. After I finish my work today, everyone will be convinced that James Stenbeck is dead. Then we move. I get Paul, settle a few old scores, And then we'll be back with Lilith in the safety of my island before the good citizens of Oakdale realize what hit them.
As the world turns. This portion brought to you today by Scope, the best thing, first thing in the morning.
We don't have the hotel set up, but you'll be the first to know as soon as I know. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
I can see you're busy. I should just go. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. I feel like I've just put a period in part of our lives that's over now. What's the matter?
Why do I believe you?
Because I'm telling the truth.
You are, aren't you?
Yes. And, you know, we said we were going to tell the truth, nothing but the truth from now on, didn't we?
Okay, I've got something to say. When you hear this, I'm certain you'll understand why I'd prefer that Emily didn't know. When I first came to Oakdale, I told you that Marjorie and I were getting a divorce. That was a lie. I thought that if I could make you believe that, you'd give me another chance. And, well, the point is now it is the truth. I want a divorce as badly as Marjorie, and we are going to find a way to do it in spite of my father's protests. So, I'm trying to keep this from Papa and the family, because if he finds out, he'll do everything in his power to stop us. So I'd appreciate it if you didn't repeat this to anyone.
I won't.
Good. Thank you for making me take a good hard look at myself, because when I did, I realized I had to change. Thank you for listening and for being my friend. You are a very special lady. And Craig Montgomery's the luckiest guy in the world.
Brock,
Yeah.
you said that we can be honest with each other, right?
100%.
Remember that connection I made with that night in September and the incident that happened in Indiana? I really need to know if that's the truth.
Ellie. Look, honestly, I am not saying this to try to intimidate you or make you afraid, but because I love you and I don't ever want to see you hurt. For both our sakes, forget that night and never ask that question again.
It was pretty obvious that Walter's briefcase had this false bottom. All I did was pop it open, and there was the letter.
Well, you done good, kid. You done real good.
Would someone kindly tell me what is in this letter?
Sorry, sweetheart. This is obviously written by somebody who Walters worked with when he was working as a PI. Somebody's out to get him.
It could be a husband Walters dug up dirt on in a divorce case, because the guy says something about Walters destroying his marriage and his reputation.
And he vows to get revenge. Listen to this. I know you're working as a bodyguard now, but you're going to need a bodyguard of your own, because I am coming after you, and I am going to make you suffer the way you made me suffer. Worse. Charming, huh? You better get it to forensics.
And start going through Walter's OPI files. Pull all the divorce cases that he was working on the 18 months before he closed up shop. Right. You might as well go on to lunch, Hal.
Thanks.
And it should be a relaxed one. Because now that we've got good reason to believe Duncan was wrong about Walter's death being linked to Stenbeck.
You feel better now?
I suppose, but it still doesn't explain what happened to Bianca or why Buddy stole Duncan's papers.
True. Munson. Claire? It's my sister. Hi, how are you? Is everything... Oh, no. Oh, my God. Is Harold all right?
So give my love to Beatrice and Brian, all right?
I will.
And promise me something. You won't tell Beatrice about my miscarriage until after she's given birth, all right? It would upset her too much.
Of course. How like you to think of Beatrice and her baby after what you've just gone through. Shannon, since the baby was really the only thing that was standing between us, and now that...
Duncan, we both know it wasn't just the baby. It was your attitude about it ever since I first told you it was Glenn's. I don't mean that to sound blameful, and I don't hold it against you, but it just made me see how fundamentally different we both are. And that won't change. You admitted it yourself a few minutes ago.
Well, then, I guess there's nothing left but that goodbye. I wish you all the happiness in the world. My bunny lassie. And I hope one day that cumbersome old castle that I left you is filled with the laughter of children playing. Your children. I know that's what you want. Farewell, Shannon.
What are you?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
Hi, guys. Hi, honey.
Hi, Doc.
Sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
Where's Lisa?
She's still talking to her manager.
It's like Andy and Julie are getting pretty thick, huh?
Oh, please. I tried talking to him about it a little while ago, and he got very testy.
Do you think it's possible that he doesn't know all that went on about her pregnancy?
He says he knows the whole story, and it doesn't change his feelings for her at all.
Mom keeps staring over here at me. I get this feeling your dad probably told her all sorts of wonderful things about me.
Oh, no, I doubt that. They don't even talk that much. Besides, whatever my dad would have to say, my mom makes up her own mind about. Don't always anticipate the worst. Look, you're starting a new life here. And I think it's going to be everything that you want it to be.
Well, I'd like to believe that. Oh, great, this is the boss lady. I gotta get their drinks.
Good morning, darling.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Hopefully. Dan will be joining us in a little while.
Good.
Just this morning, I thought, if I don't get over there to see you pretty soon, this summer's going to be over, and you're going to be back in college.
I know. I can't believe how fast it's gone.
Look, Kim and Bob is over there with Lisa. Let's go say hello. How are you doing? Hi.
Ooh, what a beautiful color.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Nancy Mack said to tell you that he is coming, and hopefully he will have my husband in tow. Hal got a very distressing phone call from his sister down in Kentucky. His father was in a mining accident today.
Oh, no. Is it serious?
They don't really know. She called from the hospital, and they're running some tests, and Hal's back at the station trying to make some phone calls, seeing if he can get a flight out today.
Are you going with him?
I'd like to go with him, but with all the rumblings of James around, I really don't want to leave Paul here by himself.
Well, honey, have him stay with us.
Thank you. I might take you up on that, but I'm going to see what Hal decides to do first, and then I have to talk to Paul. So,
Oh, Sean, now that you've been in Oakdale for 24 hours, how do you feel about relocating here now?
Oh, I think relocating to Oakdale will be a very pleasant change from the insanity of Manhattan. You know, I checked the papers here, the real estate section. I cannot believe how reasonable the prices are, which is great because if I am hired, I plan to move my kid's sister down come fall, so I'll need a fairly large apartment or perhaps, who knows, maybe a small house.
I think that we've covered everything. Do you have any questions?
No, I think Emily covered everything in the interview in New York.
Good. Tell you what, why don't you just have a chat here with Paul for a couple minutes? Let me talk to you in the office, all right? Paul can tell you how horrible it is to work here.
So, Paul, Emily tells me you'll only be working here a day or so longer.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be going back to college soon, in a couple of weeks. To tell you the truth, you know, I learned a lot more here in this one summer than I learned all last year, my freshman year at college, taking business courses.
Yes, and you've had a very pretty teacher to learn from in Emily, don't you think so, Mr. Stenbeck? Stenbeck, now where do I know that name from? It sounds familiar. Oh, I know. A couple months back in New York City, there was a highly publicized case about a wanted criminal. His last name was Stenbeck. I mean, he shot him down from a helicopter.
Sean, I know. It's my father.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry, I had no idea.
Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Sean, listen, after careful deliberation, if you want the job, it's yours, pal.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Thanks, Craig. Thanks. All right. And I am very pleased to be working with you. Both of you, as a matter of fact.
Sean, you're going to really like working here.
Thank you. I know I will. Well, this calls for celebration. Will you have some lunch with me? Both of you, Craig?
No, thank you. I've already got some plans.
Fine. Emily, will you give me the honors?
Actually, I'm supposed to have lunch with a friend, but he hasn't called yet, so certainly, why not?
This is my lucky day.
Paul, do me a favor. If Brock calls, tell him I'll be back in a few hours.
I'll tell you what, before you two just go charging out to lunch, why don't we at least check a calendar, see when you want to start working?
Oh, that's great.
Montgomery and Associates.
Yeah, hey, kid, it's Brock. Put Emily on, will you?
Brock, I'm very sorry. You just missed her. She stepped out to have lunch with Sean.
CBS. Yeah, fine. Sorry.
You have new information on Walter's death?
Well, I assume that's why you were here.
Partially. Actually, I'm concerned about Bianca.
Excuse me, Mr. Reyes, do you mind stepping outside for a few minutes? Something came up. I have to discuss it with Detective Munson.
I've been waiting for almost a half hour already. My time is valuable.
Well, so's ours. Now, please. Mark has some information for us. Well, for you specifically. About the girl that works for Antonio, the one that he reported missing?
Right. Bianca Marquez. Well, she showed up at the castle late last night. She asked for a place to stay. When our supervisor Gibson did the paperwork on her, she gave him a phony name, though. She said it was Anna. When I was there this morning, I was introduced to her, and of course, I recognized her. Apparently, she left Tonio's of her own free will.
Yeah, well, we kind of figured that. The question is, how come?
Well, she told me that she was just frightened to stay there after they found the bodyguard murdered. But she did say she knew Paul would be worried, so she asked to send a message through you that she is okay.
Well, I'm sure Paul will be glad to hear that. As a matter of fact, so will Tonio.
Well, that's a little bit of a catch here. She asked specifically for Tonio not to know where she is, only to tell him that she's okay. And I promised her that you guys would go along with that. Look, I think she's still a little shaken up by what's happened, and I'm afraid if we do anything to upset her, she's going to bolt again.
Max, your call.
Well, we can tell Tonio we got the info from an unidentified source. Yeah, but try to get her to reconsider, will you?
Sure.
Yeah, and in the meantime, you can give her some information that will definitely put her mind at ease. As a matter of fact, I'll let you hear it firsthand. If you just hang out over there. Tonio?
Finally. You have some answers for me now?
Yeah. First off, as far as Walter's death is concerned, it's very possible that he was killed by somebody he made an enemy of when he was working as a private investigator. We found a letter and his personal effects to that effect this morning. So it appears that your theory about it being Montagan terrorists out to get you is unfounded.
No, my theory is not unfounded. I am the target of Montagan assassins. As for your theory, I think that's a little bit unfounded, your theory that James Stenbeck murdered Walters, unless, of course, he's risen from the dead.
Well, that's one theory I'd be delighted to prove wrong, believe me. Item 2, as far as Bianca is concerned, we have gotten some information that she is okay.
Information from whom?
I'm not at liberty to say. Oh, Jeff, did you get anything in Walter's old divorce case files?
Not yet, but I'm working on it.
Walters was merely a sneak preview, amigo. Your death will be longer, uglier, and far more painful.
Duncan, I'm sorry you and Shannon couldn't... Well, I just was hoping maybe now that the baby was no longer...
Jessica, I'm sorry as well, but Shannon convinced me I was just being foolish. And right now, all I want to do is get on the plane and get as far away from Oakdale as possible. I just have a few more papers to put up into the safe. What the bloody hell's the matter with us? Just get back there. What's this? Oh, no, Jessica.
What is it?
Oh, the papers that I thought were stolen.
The ones you accused Buddy of taking?
Aye, everything. The maps, the journals. Oh, no, what have I done? The lad may have stolen $50 from me, but he didn't take the papers. I accused him of being in cahoots with Stenbeck, and other police are after him.
Well, at the time, it seemed logical that...
Jessica, don't humor me. You accused me of being paranoid about Stenbeck, and you were right. I've hurt Shannon, now I've hurt this poor kid. When will it end? Am I cursed?
Okay, wait. Now, maybe you were wrong about Buddy. But...
Hello! This... Muggins, is that you? Are you alive, then?
Oh, I forgot to tell you, when I was planning that envelope of papers back into Duncan's office, I saw a plane ticket sitting on his desk. And he's leaving for Scotland tonight.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Damn. I was planning on settling things with Duncan before I left, but that's cutting it a bit close. I have to settle things with him later. A little something to look forward to.
When are we actually leaving town, Buck?
I figure 48 hours will give us ample time. As soon as my dear ex-wife and her cop husband are out of the way, Paul will be all alone in the world. Except for me, of course. Now, you're very clear about the different missions that you have to carry out today. You are. Good. Well, get going. Get going. In the meantime, Mr. Chavez will carry out the rest of his master plan.
We'll continue with part 2 of As the World Turns in just a moment. And now part 2 of As the World Turns.
And then, just as I was leaving the office, I get a phone call from Duncan. He found the papers he claims that Buddy stole. Apparently, they just slipped behind the back of one of his desk drawers.
That kind of shoots Duncan's theory that James was involved with Buddy.
Yeah, well, it sure looks that way. And there's more. He got a phone call from Muggins, his first mate down in the Caribbean. He and the other crew members who are missing, except for one, are all alive and well. Although they did run into some foul play down there, it had nothing to do with James or Lilith. It was the Montagan Navy who arrested them and detained them because they were poking around some islands where they didn't belong. And the one crew member who was killed by the Navy when he tried to escape.
I guess it all adds up to that James has had nothing to do with all the strange events that have been happening around.
Yep. As a matter of fact, I take it one step further and say that we have absolutely no reason to believe that James is alive at this point.
I have no idea how really bad to hear that.
Well, that makes 2 of us and more, probably. So listen, now that we know that there's no reason to worry about Paul staying here alone, what do you say you fly down to Kentucky with me this afternoon?
Oh, I'd love that. I'd love that. But I do want to ask Paul if he'd come, okay? That's my grandmother.
Oh, Emily is going to be so relieved to hear the latest news from you and Hal. I guess now we can all safely assume that James really did die in that helicopter crash.
Well, actually, we never had any evidence to the contrary. It's just some rumors that Duncan heard, coupled with some wild goings-on, you know, that could have been the kinds of things that Stenbeck might have pulled, but turned out to be just coincidence.
Thank heaven. Helen, who is that young man that Emily is with?
I don't know. He's quite attractive, though, isn't he?
So, this is Sean Baxter. He's Craig's and my new associate.
Hello, Sean. It's a pleasure meeting all of you. Especially you, Miss Ryan. I'm looking forward to working on your account.
Tell me, Mr. Baxter, do you have any experience in the rag trade?
Well, actually, yes. The first agency I worked with in New York had several clients in the garment district.
Well, it's nice to know there'll be at least someone in the office who's qualified to handle my account.
Emily, do you know if Paul's down at the office?
Yes, Paul is at the office. He's holding down the fort while Craig and I are outside taking care of other business.
Yeah, why don't we swing by there when we're finished? We can ask him about Kentucky. We can also give him the latest news about James.
What news about James?
I'm so happy that Bianca's okay. Can I go out and see her?
Well, yeah, I think that'd be terrific, but I just give her a little time to get settled in. And just remember one other thing. She specifically asked me to make sure that Tonio doesn't know her whereabouts, okay?
Don't worry about that. Our lips are sealed. Oh, buddy. That'll be a good day for you, huh? According to Hal, Walter's murder had nothing to do with your pop.
Yeah, sorry the news isn't so great for you, though, Craig. I mean, if it is true that my father is dead, then he can't be holding Sierra hostage in Montego.
Hi.
Hi.
Mark, hi. Shannon.
Well, she's pretty well, considering. Thanks.
Well, if you see her, send her my love.
Well, I'll make sure I will. I'm going over to the hospital right now, so she'll certainly get that message.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Okay.
Hi.
You, I'll be with as soon as I sign these, okay?
Okay.
Oh, guess what?
What?
Today, we... Hi.
Hi.
Signed Sean Baxter.
Oh, that's great, because that means I get to see more of you.
I don't know about that, actually. I think that Lucinda's going to have to hire an assistant for you for that happening. Oh, by the way, speaking of Lucinda, does she come into work today?
No, not yet. Jane's expecting her, however.
It's really weird. Something going on besides her relationship with John to make her act so out of character.
Mm-hmm. Well, while you're speculating on the unsolved mysteries of the universe, can you do it over lunch? Because I'm starving.
Yes, dear. Okay, Paulie, we're out of here, okay?
Hey, have fun. Bye.
Oh, geez, sorry, bro. Hi.
How you doing, Craig? Good. Listen, Emily is not here. She took off for lunch at the yacht club with our new executive, Sean. So, excuse us. We got to run.
Sure.
See ya.
Sure. Okay. How you doing, kid?
You know, Brock, I would really appreciate it if you wouldn't call me that anymore.
Ah, well. Yes, sir, Mr. Stenbeck. When do you expect Miss Stewart will return?
I don't know.
Well, I guess I'll just go over to the country club or the yacht club, wherever that place is, and catch her there. See ya.
Oh, I don't think you're going to be able to catch her there.
Why not?
When she and Sean left, she said she was going to find a nice, cozy little nook out in the country to have lunch.
Really? Well, looks like lunch alone at the hotel. I'll have her call me when she gets in, okay?
Sure.
Thanks.
Well, you have no idea how relieved I am to hear the rumors about James being disproved.
Oh, I'm sure you are, sweetheart. Now, tell me, who's that handsome young man that you walked in here with today?
Yes. Well, he's just an associate of Craig and mine. His name is Sean Baxter. Come on, you know I don't have eyes for anybody except Brock. Go to him.
Well,
Are you leaving?
yes, darling. It was particularly nice to see you.
Nice to meet you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Ellen.
I got Sean some swim trunks. They'll be out in a minute.
Well, thanks.
Okay, sure.
Appreciate it.
So how's Paul doing?
He's fine. But have you guys not seen much of each other lately?
Yeah, we've been busy, you know? I mean, he's kind of closed up lately anyway. I don't know. I get the feeling maybe he got hurt by a girl or something like that. I don't know. He doesn't talk about it. Where's my whistle? Oh, you have one. Okay.
Can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Come here.
Not that there's much you can do about it. I wouldn't be too concerned about Julie and Andy. He's a pretty smart kid.
Yes, I know he is, but he's also very naive about women. And from what I've heard and from what I can see, Julie is about as far from naive as they come.
Well, my new manager has everything under control, so I'm going to run over to the hospital. I know I really should say goodbye to Barbara, but I hate getting in the middle when she and Emily are together. It's like standing between two sticks of dynamite and praying, oh, please, no one have a match.
Look, I don't know. Craig has already given Paul permission for the time off. What, are you asking for my permission, too?
No, I'm not, Emily, not by a long shot. I just came to tell you that I'm thrilled that Paul's job with you is going to be over shortly and that he will be out of that office and away from you.
Oh, Barbara, you've already made that perfectly clear time and time again.
Nice to see you today, Emily.
Always a pleasure, Barbara. Always a pleasure.
And Mr. Baxter. Look forward to working with you.
Likewise, Mr. Ryan. That's one classy woman.
Oh, yes, at least on the outside. I wouldn't cross her if I were you.
Well, you just call him as you see him, don't you, Miss Stewart?
Yes, I do. Something gives me the feeling you do the same thing, Mr. Baxter.
Well, I'm glad that Barbara apologized to you about what she said yesterday here at the fashion show.
Well, look, she's been under a lot of pressure, and I'm sure she didn't mean it.
Brock came by to see me today.
What is with that guy?
Craig, he wanted to talk to me. He wanted to tell me that he's really in love with Emily. And that, he's gonna get a divorce. And I believe him.
I was wondering, maybe we could stay late tonight and have a little dinner, take a little moonlight swim, just the two of us.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? Good. Oh, damn, I forgot the drinks on table 7.
Oh, listen, since you didn't make dinner last night, can I count on you for dinner tonight?
No, you can't. You can't because the manager is new here, and I told him I'd work late tonight, help him out.
Oh, what a conscientious young man. I know you're so proud of him.
So Dr. Gunther's going to do some more tests this afternoon, and if everything's all right, then he's going to release me tomorrow.
Well, that's great. Listen, I want you to make a promise to me, okay?
What?
When you get out of here, I want you to tell me that you were going to take it very, very easy so we can be sure that someday you'll have lots of healthy babies.
I hope one day that cumbersome old castle I left you will be filled with the laughter of your children playing, just as you've always wanted it to be.
Shannon, is something wrong?
Oh, no. No, of course not.
Okay. Hey, I didn't see that before. Shamrock plant, where did you get that?
It's a gift from Mulligan.
Did he come by and see you?
No, Duncan brought it for him when he came to say goodbye a few hours ago. Goodbye for real this time.
You know, it's almost as hard to say goodbye to you as it is to Shannon. If you ever need a shoulder to cry on or an ear to bend, you know where to reach me.
Yes, and likewise, my friend. Now, let's get out of here.
I guess that's it.
Okay.
Buddy!
Mr. McKechnie, before you say anything, I'm the one who took the $50 from you, okay? I'm really sorry. Can I come in? I don't know why after you've been so nice to me, look, I've been working every odd job I could find the last few days, and I made enough money to pay you back, okay? Here it is. I'm really sorry.
Buddy, it is I that owes you an apology. I've just found the papers that I stupidly misplaced and accused you of stealing. And, well, thank you for this. This makes us square. As far as I'm concerned, we're even. I'm on my way to the airport. I'll stop and call Mark and tell him what's happened, and I'm sure you'll be able to go back there.
Oh, that would be great. Oh, thanks. I've been sitting on the street for the past few days.
Oh, lad, well, listen, you can have your job back here as well, if you like. Jessica will arrange it.
Really?
Aye.
Mr. McKechnie, you're the best.
Well, I'm glad we got everything squared away.
Well, I guess that's it. We go to Kentucky and you stay here, right? And I already spoke to Kim and to Bob, and they're looking forward to having you come stay with them for a couple of days.
Wait a second. Now that we know all these rumors about Dad are bogus, I don't have to stay with them. I'll be fine. I'll be safe at home.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay, well, I guess we better go pack a bag real fast and get to the airport, and we'll call you from Kentucky, all right, Carol?
Okay. Have fun, eh, Hal?
Thanks.
I hope your dad's gonna be okay.
Thanks.
Well, thank you.
Bye, have fun.
Bye.
Hello? Oh, look, I'm going to have to go myself. I'm sorry we don't have the opportunity to work with each other. Perhaps some other time. And you, I will see a week after next.
Okay.
Boss lady?
Thanks for lunch.
Hello.
Hello. Did you miss me, or were you having too much fun with Mr. Baxter?
Hey, if you're jealous, it serves you right. You didn't call me for lunch like you said you would.
Wait a minute, I did too. Didn't Paul tell you?
Brock, I'm sorry. I didn't have a chance yet. Emily and Sean, well, they just got back from their lunch. I'll be across the hall.
Well, we decided to hire Sean. He'll be starting the week after next.
Oh, well, good. So, what little cozy spot in the country did you go to for lunch? Paul told me.
Oh, yeah, we decided not to do that. We just had lunch at the yacht club, and a light lunch.
The yacht club, I knew I should have gone over there. Well, guess what I did?
What?
I had a boring lunch with Tonio. Told him I was going to leave after the 6-month trial contract was up. Although I did tell him that the reason I was staying that long was because of you.
Good. Excuse me. Hello, Montgomery & Associates.
I know you can't talk, so just listen to me. I had a meeting with Brock, and it's obvious that you do have quite a bit of influence on him, so I want you to pull out all the stops and make sure that he doesn't break his contract with me, or else Craig will be breaking his contract with you very soon.
Okay, thank you. Keep the change.
Thank you.
Thanks, Julie.
Sure.
Well, since all these new developments indicate that James Stenbeck is dead, do you think that Tonio's story is true? Do you think that Sierra's being held prisoner and
I mean, was it ever true? I don't know, probably not.
Lucinda seems to think so, adamantly.
And I wish I knew why Lucinda was so convinced, but since Lucinda won't tell me why she's convinced, Antonio won't give me any proof. Look, I talked to Jessica today. We're going to go before the probate judge as quick as we can. I want to file for a legal presumption of death.
Are you sure that's what you want to do?
Sweetheart, I'm sure. Okay?
So it looks like someone's a voyeur.
No, not me. What fun is there in watching other people do it? You can experience it firsthand.
Well, thank you. Dr. Gunther says I can go home in the morning.
Oh, Shannon, that's wonderful.
Shannon O'Hara's room.
Mark, I'm glad you answered the phone. I'm just about to get on the plane, but I wanted you to know about Buddy.
Who is it?
It's Duncan. He says got some news from Buddy. What about him?
Well, although he did steal $50 from me, apparently I've made a terrible mistake in accusing him of stealing those papers. Fortunately, he just came by and he returned the $50, so we're square on that account. And he wants to come back and stay at the castle, so I said I'd put in a good word for him.
Well, since he's paid you the money back, sure, that'd be okay.
I'm also going to give him his old job back at the warehouse, and Jessica will contact you regarding that.
Okay, that's fine. Is there anything else?
No. I've already said goodbye to Shannon, so you take good care of her. Goodbye, Mark.
Huh.
Something wrong?
No, actually, it's good news. Duncan said Buddy didn't steal those papers from the warehouse. He did take the $50, but he's paid it back, and he and Duncan are friends again. So it looks like Buddy's gonna be moving back to the castle.
Oh, well, that's good news. Where was Duncan calling from?
He was calling from the airport. He told me you'd already said your goodbyes.
You know, Brock was standing right there, Tonio, when you made that call to my office. That becomes very awkward.
Well, just convince him not to break his contract with me, and I won't have to make any more awkward phone calls.
Yeah, well, I'm doing the best that I can. Your pressure's becoming very obnoxious, okay? You're also becoming a little paranoid. What is it with all these bodyguards? Didn't anybody tell you Walter's death had nothing to do with James Stenbeck?
I keep telling you, my security has nothing to do with James Stenbeck.
Yeah, right.
Who's there?
It's a delivery for Mr. Reyes.
Hi. Air Express?
Where are my two security men?
I don't know. I didn't see anybody.
Hudson, Ludlow.
Go me, man.
Not until I find out how you got past my security.
Just take this and let me get out of here,
Tonio,
okay?
let him go. I've seen him before.
Worried about your dad?
Yeah.
And I'm worried about what you're going to think when you finally meet him and see my rather humble roots.
I am going to think what I've always thought. That I love you with my heart and my soul. And that I'll be ever grateful to you for teaching me how to love again. And trust again. Because after James, I just didn't ever think...
Hey. Mrs. Munson, I'll tell you what. After all the events of today, there is no good reason for us to believe that James is alive. The NYPD has officially pronounced him dead. So what do you say we do the same? Deal?
Deal.
Deal.
Paul, the night we spent together, we both know it can never happen again. I want to see you happy with someone your own age, and I hope I'm going to find my happiness with Brock. You know, in a way, if we can both find that happiness, it'll be our final victory over your father and all the pain he's caused us.
Hello, Montgomery and Associates. Hello, is anybody there?
Yes, Paul. It's me, your father.
Stay tuned for Guiding Light, next on most of these CBS stations. Phyllis Poland. This is Dan Region, inviting you to join us again Monday for As the World Turns.
This is CBS.